Some of the suggestions that I've got here, and you might have some. Pray and give thanks. I mean, you've got time to do things. There's no excuse saying that I don't have any time, because you've got time. You've always got time. Always got time to give thanks and pray. Look at this time as an opportunity to focus on manifesting your goals. Think about the things that you want to have manifest in your life and start writing them out. Start with 3 simple, easy to attain goals, and every day focus on them and behave as though you've already got them. And that's the secret of receiving, is behave as though you've got it. If you want to feel like, I don't know, younger, behave as though you're younger. Just remember that what you're putting out is what the universe is going to give you. Set your house in order. That's really important, because when we set our house in order, things come to us a lot easier. You know, people get in, I've been there, I mean, because I'm usually busy, the last thing I want to do is housework. And I'm like, oh, I've got to do housework. Now that I've rescheduled my hours, I can fit that in as well. So that's a good thing. And you should always be excited about doing it, which is something Spirit said to me. And I'm like, how can anyone be excited about doing housework? And they said, be excited about doing housework. Because when you're excited about being clean and doing things, you can feel the pride after you've finished doing that, even though it might get messy straight away with kids, as you all know. As soon as you've done that, you've got this sense of, oh, you know, I can relax, even though I don't get really much time to relax. But the thing is, you've got to think about, okay, if an angel was to drop into my home, how would they look at my home? You know, you don't have to have the most expensive of furniture. You don't have to have a mansion. You don't have to, you know, be rich, but you can be clean and you can be tidy. So set your house in order. Do a spring clean. What better time to do it? It's going to keep you busy. It's going to get you, you know, right into the things that you don't need anymore in your home. The things that have been baggage, anchors if you want. Because when we hold on to things that we really aren't going to ever use, they become anchors. They stop us from having what we set out to achieve. They stop us from reaching our goals. Even though you think, okay, I've had that crock pot sitting in there and one day I'm going to use it. One day there's going to be an occasion where I'm going to get out that, you know, it could be like a tea set that you were given on your wedding day that is just sitting in a box or not being used. It could be what do they call, a punch set. I mean, who uses them except for really special occasions? If you use them regularly, then of course, you know, you're going to keep it. But I've got one that's sitting in my cupboard and I never use it because I don't drink. So little things like that, things that you don't use anymore, just ditch them, get them out of there. Give yourself more room in your home. You know, the problem is when we get more room, we're going to fill it. So, you know, but get stuck into the place. Use the time given to you that's available to get things done. Pamper yourself. Never ever forget to pamper yourself. Take time out to do something that's going to make you feel good about yourself. It could be, you know, like give yourself a facial. You don't have to go to a salon. And obviously you can't anyway, so you've got to compromise. Do it for yourself. Make up a coffee scrub or something, you know, use some coffee and some sea salts or some brown sugar and a little bit of coconut oil, mix it together and use it as an exfoliating scrub. Fantastic for your face, fantastic for your body, and it really is invigorating. Do something that's going to make you feel good about you. Learn a new skill. You can apply online to do a course. You can, you know, think about, you know, probably learning a new language or something like that. Whatever it is, don't waste the opportunity. The internet is available. Use it to your advantage. You could even start doing something that's therapeutic, like candle making. I make candles. I make my own candles, which has saved me so much money because I'm always burning candles. And it's very calming and relaxing, and there's nothing like, you know, that making it and then sitting back and, you know, enjoying the fragrance and everything. Write down all the things you will do once all this is over. Make a plan. You've got to see past this. And of course, you could even like put a diary together or a blog. You know, start blogging the things that you're experiencing, so you've got some type of way of gauging with people who are going through the same thing. You might have people who suddenly, you know, I'm going through exactly the same thing. Of course, we're all in the same boat, but they might be experiencing depression. You know, depression hits a lot of people hard in times like this if they've got no one that they can really reach out to, or they're worried that they're going to be a burden. If they reach out to somebody, they're going to be feeling, you know, they've got their own problems. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want them to be, you know, thinking that I'm whinging and stuff like that. Carly says, yes, been going through the house every day, good time for it. Hello, Ree. Carly says, I love putting on music and cleaning, feels good. Yep, music is fantastic. Sonia says, I'm not working now but have gone mad on the house. I'm loving it, painting, making my bed, cooking and my Nana's recipes. And then Carly says, but then I reward myself with a nap. So you should. There's nothing wrong with that. Your body will tell you when you're tired. It will tell you when you need to take rest. And if you want to sleep in, do it. And don't feel guilty for doing it. And if anyone else makes you feel guilty, you know, just go to sleep again. Really tick them off. But you need to do something, like look at this not as this is a burden, this is stopping me from, you know, having my social life and everything like that. The universe finds ways to get us to focus on what is really important. And sometimes the things that we neglect will find a way to make us stop and take notice of them. And sometimes the things that we neglect are ourselves. So think of how good it is too. Going without gives you a greater appreciation. Talk to angels and loved ones. And now, of course, we do that all the time, but this is giving you more time. Think about the opportunity that this time can give you, where, I mean, if you take more naps than usual, your stress levels are going to go down. You can look at this opportunity with, you know, the lack of stuff on the shelves at the supermarket is giving you an opportunity to cleanse your body, to start turning to fruit and veg. Now, I've noticed in some news reports, things are just crazy with pricing. You know, what was it? A head of broccoli for $15. Just go to your freezer, get the frozen food. It lasts longer and it's snap frozen, and that's, you know, just as good. So all the vitamins are still there, just don't overboil it. That's the secret. Keep your veggies crunchy, except if you're going to have mashed potato and so on. Reinventing yourself, reinventing your outlook, your life. I mean, we take so much for granted, and we take, I mean, obviously we took toilet paper. You mean you're out of toilet paper? I will go down and grab a packet of toilet paper. You never had the fear of going down there, and but we do take a lot for granted. We seem to assume that everything's just going to be there. And when you think about it, how often do we do that even with people around us? We take for granted that they're just going to be in our life, that they're going to be there. You know, we don't feel like talking to them today or calling them up today. They'll be there tomorrow. I'll give them a call tomorrow. I'll give them a call next week. Or if you hear from a loved one and it's like, oh, I really don't want to talk, just take this moment to think about, what if tomorrow I never got a chance to talk to them? That overnight they passed away in their sleep, and they're not there tomorrow, they're not there next week, and because I couldn't be bothered, or, you know, don't feel like talking to them, you put that off, and then you'll never get that chance again. Think about it. This is a time of appreciation for the fact that you've got someone who wants to talk to you, that you've got someone who is a part of your family still living, no matter who it is, whether it be children. There are people out there who can't have children, so appreciate them. If there's, you know, aunts and uncles, there are some people who don't have aunts and uncles because their parent may have been an only child, and you know, there's always something to be grateful for. Big lessons, absolutely. And good, I'm glad that you're getting good vibes on the other side of this. That's Sonia. Danny says, I had the feeling for weeks I should call my godmother. I finally did through the week to find out her husband of over 60 years passed, who was also my grandfather's best mate. Someone is always worse off. Exactly. You know, we can mope about, we can whinge about our circumstances, but there's always somebody who is struggling. And let's not forget people with mental health problems. You know, these people who think mental health problems is something you're born with, think again. You could have a situation that triggers depression, and all of a sudden you're a candidate. Everyone is a walking candidate. All it takes is there is a fine line, and once that line's crossed, then after that it's open slather. And all it takes is something to break a person. So don't just think, oh, you know, people with mental health problems, they are, you know, bipolar, or they're, you know, got something, you know, connected with that, or schizophrenia, or what have you. There are people out there who, you know, all it takes is for them to lose somebody, and then the depression hits. And I've heard people say, oh, there's no such thing as depression, it's all in the head. Well, yeah, it is, but there are things that can trigger that. And yes, anxiety can be increased because there's that, you know, worry and fear that you can't contact anybody, or you can't go and see somebody, and you're worried about how they are. You know, you might have someone in a nursing home and you're thinking, my God, I would love to go and see them, but I can't. And what happens if in this time something happens? And you've got to also remember This is a time where you've got to start trying to control the way you're thinking, because it's like cabin fever. When you think about it, you get this cabin fever where you start feeling isolated more than ever. You want to reach out to somebody, but you can't. You want to go and see someone all of a sudden. And it's amazing that when you've got a restriction, how you suddenly want to go and see somebody, you know, or you want to make a phone call, because it's like now that's been sort of suppressed. There's been a suppression around this where you can't just, you know, leave it. You don't know when you're going to have the chance to go and see them. So, you know, these people, think about those who have loved ones in nursing homes, but where they're in a nursing home, it doesn't mean that you can't ring them. It doesn't mean that you can't arrange something. And I'm sure that, you know, if anyone is linked to a nursing home in any way or works at them, maybe you can think about, you know, setting up something like a Skype way of going onto a laptop and then scheduling loved ones to Skype their loved one, so that they can see them on a computer monitor and communicate, so they're not feeling that they've been abandoned or they've been feeling, you know, left in some way. So hopefully, you know, if you know somebody in a nursing home, you might be able to suggest that, you know, why don't they take in a laptop, or, you know, set up some type of schedule so that loved ones can contact them, and do it through Skype or, you know, whatever means, you know. Be creative. You know, if you're going to send like a message to somebody, or, you know, to family and friends, blog your messages. Like, you're doing a short video, and this is what I'm doing today, how boring is this? I mean, last night I go out to feed the fish in the pond, only to notice there's new life in there, and they've had babies. So that was like, oh, you know, life still goes on. We might be having all this going on and so many deaths around the world and everything like that, and then we've got nature just is continuing. Everything continues. Focus on positive. If you're going to have a conversation, make it a new conversation, one that is not, you know, I'm feeling miserable, or I'm going through this, because that other person may be going through the same thing. Sure, you might, you know, express it, but snap out of it. Honestly, you've got to, for your own sanity, you've got to decide, okay, am I contacting somebody because I want to bring them down even more than what they're going through? Or do I want to have a happy chat? Something that, you know, like, it could be just talking about goals, talking about the plans that you've got once this is all over. You've got to have some type of you've got to have some type of way of seeing past it. This is just a glitch, if you want to put it that way. Don't look at it as, you know, you're doomed or anything like that. Don't walk around freaking out that everything you're going to touch is going to get you the virus. Otherwise, you're going to invite it. But it's really important just to, you know, focus on good things. Be positive. Positives is such a strong energy. Pass it on. That's right. If you've got something like, you know, on your own page that is just, you know, it could be like, make a post and share it around. Something that is, you know, positive. It could be one word, happiness. It could be one word, hope. It could be, you know, thankful. Whatever that word is, start something on your own page and ask all your friends on that page to write down underneath that, with that word in it, what, you know, like make a sentence using that one word, so that they're having to think about something positive, not negative. And if you do something like that, I mean, I might kickstart it on my Facebook page, and each person has got to write underneath something positive as a result of that word. It's got to be used in one sentence, not a paragraph, but in a sentence. And this way it's going to sort of motivate, you know, people to be more positive, spread the positivity around, you know, things like that. So positive words on your page, and do it like once a week.